Hello, this is Habermann. So, before we get into the real meat of the Let's Play of Homefront, I wanted to make this video sort of introducing the LP, laying down some ground rules, I guess. This is basically setting up what I am and what I'm not going to cover during the LP in my commentary. It's sort of an episode 0, if you will. If you're looking for gameplay, that's going to be in episode 1. This is just me talking to you, the viewer. So, skip it if you want, because this may take a while. So obviously, Homefront, the game we're LPing, obviously, had a troubled development. And the details of which I don't really feel necessary to go over during the LP. Basically, in my commentary, I want to focus on what's going on in the game, rather than pointing out stories of the development and, you know, the hardships that were encountered by the development team. I'd rather just let the game speak for itself, and I'd rather talk about, you know, how it's poorly designed in spots. I mean, because it's a bad game. It's a bad game. It's a pretty lousy game. If you want to read up on the development of the game, which I highly encourage you to do, there is an article which I highly encourage reading, published by Polygon, about the development of the game and the following dissolution of Chaos Studios, the developer. And it's really interesting. It's a bit on the long side, but then again, so is my commentaries. So you should be used to that by now. But yes, that goes over in better detail than I ever possibly could. How this game came to be the game it is today. The involvement of John Milius, the writer, supposed writer, in quotations, writer of this game, who also wrote for the movie, the original Red Dawn, which is why he was brought onto this project, and why this game is really fucking similar to Red Dawn in a lot of ways. In its premise, and its theme, and tone, and all that sort of stuff. So you should also probably watch that movie. If you haven't seen Red Dawn already, might as well, because that'll also help prepare you for the game ahead. Now, one of the big issues with trying to Let's Play this game is obviously North Korea, who are the main villains of this game, the North Korean army, or really the United Korean Army in the game. You'll see that in the story, in the prologue of the game. But yeah, the entirety of North Korea, or at least the North Korean military, is made out to be just monsters in this game. Just to make it easy to hate on them. Just to make it... Like, in the prologue, you'll see, like, the prologue ripped straight out of COD 4 Modern Warfare's prologue, where you're just stuck in a bus and watching the military just killing dozens of civilians, rounding them up for work camps. You know, brutal stuff, just put in there to make you know, to make sure that you know that these guys are evil and you need to kill all of them. And, you know, that's video games. I mentioned Call of Duty, and obviously, like, the enemies in that game are there, they're evil, and you gotta go kill them. And I don't know, there's something like this especially gross about it in this game, but the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't want to make a point of this. That this isn't... I'm not a political commentator, I'm a dude who plays video games for the internet, and as such, I can't comment on the state of politics in North Korea. I know I picked a hell of a time for it to start this LP, with North Korea just saying they're gonna wage fucking war against everyone right now, so great timing on my part. and you know what's great is that some of the things in this game have already started to come true. People are saying that North Korea doing their nuclear tests, you know, was in this game they said that in 2013 North Korea begins nuclear tests. And look at it, it's like in 2013 and they started doing nuclear tests. Kim Jong-il dying, getting replaced by Kim Jong-un, his son, and what am I supposed to say about that sort of stuff? Am I supposed to bring it up during the LP? No, I don't think I am. Because, like I said, this is a commentary about the game. That when I'm talking about the game, I'm talking about the game, not the politics behind the game, not on the state of affairs, not on world news. I'm talking about a lousy first-person shooter. So, I'm not gonna outright ban that sort of talk, that sort of discussion on comments for the videos, on the Something Awful thread. Feel free to have those discussions. Just don't let it get out of hand, guys, and don't expect me, personally, to contribute to any of it. So there, that's that. That's the political stuff out of the way, removed from the situation. So let's talk a little bit about product placement in this game. Oh, there is a ton of it. Some brands featured prominently. Just thinking offhand, off the top of my head right now. White Castle, I think, is one of the first things you see in the game. There's Full Throttle energy drinks, Tiger Direct outlet. So yeah, there was an interview with G4 where I think it was the design director of Homefront basically said that all the product placement in the game wasn't just some financial motivation to have all of it in there, but he actually had the balls to say that it would establish an emotional connection with the user. Basically saying that by like showing White Castle on fire, that's how the player is really going to know that the war has hit home, that this is really our beloved United States under attack. So all this product placement, I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious. It's just... It seems out of place in spots, like really out of place, and it's just so prominent and so blatant that I can't help but point that stuff out when I see it in game. I'm sorry. So yes, expect that. Regarding cutscenes and dialogue in the game, I'm going to be talking over portions of it, if I have something funny to say, which I always think I do. So, basically I have no respect for this game, therefore I don't feel any need to respect the cutscenes or the dialogue or the story, and neither should you. On the other hand, a lot of the dialogue is really stupid, or just incredibly jingoistic, and or just otherwise horribly written or even acted in many cases, so I'll be sure to leave those bits in, make sure those are featured prominently and audibly. One more thing I want to talk about, the last thing for this video, is the multiplayer mode, which people seem to like for some reason. I don't see why. In fact, this myth that the multiplayer is even salvageable, I feel like it's one that needs to be addressed. Miraculously, against all odds, there's still a handful of people trying to play this game. There's still a handful of servers up for this game on PC, which is what we're playing this on, by the way. And I do want to take some time out of the LP to make some videos demonstrating the multiplayer, talking about the multiplayer, as a guy who has played a lot of first-person shooter multiplayer games. And it would be great if some of you guys who might also happen to own this game would come along for the ride, as it were. I'll be organizing some stuff in the Something Awful thread. I'll try to do some YouTube outreach too, and we'll try to get some days together where all of us can come together and play this boring fucking game online together. On PC. Let's bear that in mind. So, yeah, that's more or less all I have to say about that. Hope you enjoy the LP.